You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Make yourself famous. A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 28 of the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Mr. AEW,
God damn it.
Kyle Gagliardi, as always joined by my good friend, not Mr. AEW, Yuki!
Whoa, what's going on, Cal?
I had to get that in right off the bat.
I'm not surprised.
If nobody understands where we're coming from, we had a predictions video out, which you should have checked out on the Overtime Sports Network YouTube channel. And I walked out the AEW predictions champion.
You crawled out. You got one right.
Oh, one more
Well, you got
right.
one. You got one other right.
Did you only miss two then? And I missed one total?
Which one? So
we missed the casino ladder match.
I missed the ladder, and then
you missed Nyla. Yeah. So I missed one, and you missed two.
And we'll talk about that in hindsight about why it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, what you been up to, man? This is what, 2 weeks ago was our last pod?
Been in the class a couple days this week.
What are you doing there? Cleaning house?
Yeah, basically finishing up grades, doing all that jazz, finishing out the contract days. So I got that all done with, and other than that, staying up late, playing VGs, playing the video games, hitting the sticks, and watching some good wrestling.
And winning wiffle ball games.
I have been known to do that, and when I say I mean we.
Yes.
And those that are on my roster. So behind every good coach is good players.
That's right. And I'm surprised I'm still standing here. I'm about to turn 27 here in a couple weeks, and I really felt it when I was rounding first base yesterday. I kind of pulled my quad a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like you got shot a little bit.
It feel like I got shot. Then again, there was like fireworks going off. That could have been it.
Yeah, no kidding. It could have came out of anywhere, like an RKO, but hey,
right. I like it. Wrestling
status for that for next week should be fine.
Probable
on the way up. Probably.
Yeah, the workload right now at actual work where I get paid for is not great. 'Cause I'm lifting heavy cases and whatnot.
Yep.
You got to bend down and.
Well, the cases aren't going to lift themselves.
That's true. Honestly, I don't know if I'll be able to do it tomorrow, but I guess we'll find out. But like we were talking about our predictions video that was on the Overtime Sports Network, everybody knows we are a member of OTSN. Where can they find OTSN? We're going to keep this short and sweet because not much is going on right now.
OTSportsNetwork.com for the blogosphere and our list, our great list of podcasts, which are mostly semi-inactive. Right now,
there's only two active.
We and AWI Pod,
right.
A work in progress, another professional wrestling podcast, are
number
both,
one on Podomatic.
Well, and people forget that, but it does. Not only does it say something great about their podcast because they do a great job, it also says something about the strength of our network, the Overtime Sports Network, on Twitter @_OTSN. If you're looking to create, and right now, throwback blogs are hot. Give us something.
Yeah.
Blogs are really something that could boost us right now among our stable. Graphic people as well. Quick graphic people.
Hey, you're kind of a graphic guy.
I'm getting into it now. The quarantine has allowed me to dabble a little bit more and figure that out. I enjoy it. I was able to figure out how to put pictures on our iMovie, so that's a step up for us.
I will give you $5 if you can make an OTSN Twitter header because I don't like ours right now.
Done.
Okay.
For On the Mark?
No, OTSN, not
Done.
OTM.
Done.
We're already settled.
Done.
All right, cool. What's the deal?
I'm happier than you are with it.
$5,
There we go.
You can get a Happy Meal out of that or something like that. I don't know what are Happy Meals price wise.
Ass, I don't know, but they're probably still like $3. But you get toys. They need to do if they did WWE figures in Happy Meals. I'll take 7, please.
I'd pay $10 for that.
Yeah,
why not? I need to get a new figure, and I saw that the AEW ones are coming out soon, aren't they?
Yeah. And they were, with that graphic that they played over Double or Nothing, some of the character models, great. Some of them,
It's nothing like what is Mattel for WWE that creates them. They're obviously not able to use Mattel, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
But I mean, WWE figures are top notch, but like you said, some of the designs like Jericho, Cody look good, but then the other ones like the Young Bucks were like,
Omega looked a little off.
Right.
I'll probably cop a couple. Our man Otis, he's in the latest set of Elites. Tucker and Otis are both active on that.
I was gonna say, did they give him the briefcase? But I guess not.
No, he's got the fake title. It's a fake cardboard title. I can't remember when that was part of their storyline. But
was it NXT? I don't even know.
But Tucker and Otis both have this fake drawn cardboard looking title, and
I don't remember that.
I can't remember it either. But So Double or Nothing at my place.
Double or Nothing at your place. We're gonna start off with AEW talk. So if you aren't a fan of Elite Wrestling and you haven't caught up, then skip about 20 to 30 minutes of this show. But like you said, Double or Nothing at your place, it got a little interesting, Tuck.
Well, we were off to a great start playing Can Jam. We pre-gamed the pre-show, which is always the move if available.
We pre-gamed, I'd say, relatively hard.
We got after it.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was good weather for the pre-show.
Correct.
Played some Can Jam. T-Walk.
Oh, I forgot to mention T-Walk. See, I have the list of people there. I was going to say we have Mikey Wilson, loyal listener, Ryan Vogus, loyal listener, Ian, loyal listener, and T-Walk, who listens occasionally, I think.
Well, and I think he's going to start listening more. He bought, he's from a Family Divided fame.
Yeah.
Also from Overtime Sports Card fame, which is on the Overtime Sports Network YouTube page.
Right.
Also, he copped a Money in the Bank.
I saw that.
10, retail 10, guaranteed an autograph. Don't know what he got.
2019, right?
Yeah.
Is he saving it for something, or did he already open it?
He just liked maybe he just liked the 10 and forgot there were cards in there.
That could be something. I'm going to text him right now. I'm going to say, did you open up that pack?
Yeah. So let's predict what he got. I'm going to say a Nia Jax Matt Relic.
What does Matt Relic mean?
A Matt Relic is like a piece of canvas from the wrestling match.
Oh, that would be great.
I have an Undertaker one. I also have a Tamina one.
Okay, well, polar opposites there on the
Not
spectrum.
Great. The thing that's cool with those, I have a Roman Reigns one too.
That's good.
The Matt Relics are kind of cool. I like those better than the game used jerseys because the mat was wrestled. The mat was
Everybody
wrestled.
was on that. Yeah.
And they also do with the women. They do kiss cards. So the women put lipstick on and actually kiss the card.
A lot of weirdos like that.
Post-coronavirus, probably not going to happen. People are asking. I'm not sure.
That wouldn't be a good look. I think it was a 2019 set.
It was, yeah. It was from last year's Money in the Bank. So you're guaranteed a hit, an autograph or a relic.
With T-Walk's luck, I'm going to say he pulled a Braun Strowman autograph.
Wow.
I'm
decent.
feeling Braun. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Another sneaky good one he might have picked, an Otis autograph, 2019 Money in the Bank. Could have been more of a comment.
Yeah.
But now Otis has some press.
Value. Yeah, definitely got some value. But yeah, like you were saying, we were pre-gaming a little bit, playing some Can Jam. Vogus didn't show up till later, but got our pizza.
Yeah.
Got our adult beverages. And then the rain decided to make an appearance.
Swiftly as well. We knew we were going to get hit with some precipitation. We did not know how much. Normally, it's not uncommon to get some water in the garage. Not only did we get water in the garage, water in the bathroom, the driveway, the ditch, above the road. Vogus, at one point, I'm like, dude, I think your car is going to float away here. Maybe go move. He left.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not dealing with this, and I kind of don't blame him.
Yeah, especially with his situation. The water was up. He ducked out, tried to find a place to kind of situate the car. Didn't work out for him. He headed home. By the end of the pay-per-view, no more water in the bathroom after the initial swipe up.
That's good, yes.
And then that kind of gassed me out for the rest of the pay-per-view. I'm sure we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we will, for sure. I will definitely bring that up. But the results are in from T-Walk's pool.
Okay.
It is a female superstar.
Ooh, Nikki
She
Cross.
has won Money in the Bank.
Ooh.
And it is a Matt Relic.
I knew that. That was my guess. I don't know.
Carmella. Mella is money.
That's solid.
Not a bad pull right there
That's
for T-Walk. He goes, I'll end up grabbing you one if you want next time. I go, you know what? I'll get one, and next show we do on a podcast, I'm just going to rip it on the show.
Let's go. And he might have added that to the Spank Bank. People are asking.
I hope Corey Graves isn't listening. You don't want to know about that. But kicking off Double or Nothing, we had the casino ladder match where obviously the winner of this match would win opportunity at the World Championship. And First off, what did you think about this concept? We didn't know for sure until Vogus corrected us during our predictions of how this was going to work. Did you like this style? Did you like the way the match played out? What were your overall thoughts on it as a whole?
So I like the idea of the Royal Rumble type entrance where you're kind of feeding them over a period of time. The hard thing that I have, the trouble I have in those types of matches, I have trouble getting invested before all of them are in, because you got to figure if they're announcing 8 people, they're going to show up.
Yeah.
And I would almost enjoy a Casino Royale ladder match. 8 people are announced and a dude wins before the third guy shows up, because that never happens. So like mentally you get like, I'm not in this thing until 10 minutes, but until we start mixing it up.
Yeah.
And there's no eliminations because the way to win is to climb the ladder. So I was fine with it. I think it went well. The other thing you have to consider is the order of entrance, right?
Yeah.
Who's coming in when? I think that made sense. T-Walk 8-0 on the night with his off the cuff predictions as he's seeing people pop in and the night develops.
I think if we would have known for sure that the mystery guy was Brian Cage, which, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Double or Nothing, Brian Cage won the Casino ladder match.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched any of his stuff?
I didn't know who it was. I wouldn't have been able to pick him out of a crowd, but this guy is chiseled like a Greek god.
The dude's a monster. I mean,
yes.
And Taz now is obviously the mouthpiece, so he's got that going for him. I mean, he came in and they targeted him. It's kind of like the treatment you'd get to any big and like WWE ladder matches where you pile it all on top of the big guy.
Yeah.
And hopefully it knocks him out.
And at a moment we thought he was dead because he was buried, and you're like, well, okay. So he...
Didn't Janela hit a spot on the poker chip on top what he was under too?
Yeah.
That was a pretty wild spot there.
Yes.
I do kind of see how you may have liked Janela, or still maybe do, because he's a daredevil.
Yeah, he'll get after it. I just don't know if he can wrestle.
Not the greatest.
But I do like him.
Yeah.
He's almost the most relatable to me because he's not super. He's a little doughy, but he's tough. He's not chiseled. He's scruff. Teeth aren't perfect. There's a lot of things but I'm still not buying his T-shirt. Chris, the gentleman that joined us, one of Mike's buddies, strong presence with the Joey Janela T-shirt.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot that guy was wearing that.
Great
shirt.
shoes too. That did not get harmed in the flood. But yeah, Joey's cool. If I get a Joey Janela shirt in a pro wrestling crate and I unbox it on YouTube, not bad.
No. I still think I had the best T-shirt at that watch party. Orange Cassidy, come on.
And that's a risk too, 'cause it's all white.
White, yeah.
That's a chore too. It's an errand. Props to Orange Cassidy for keeping his crispy. He probably just wears a new one every time.
Yeah, I was going to say they probably just hand him a T-shirt as he's about to walk out.
Well, it's like the Undisputed Era when they pop up and they still have the stickers on the shirt. Like, come on, dude.
They have a new style and design too, like every week. There's
Always.
so many Undisputed Era merch. Like, there's probably 50 different variants of it, and that's not even me being.
And they always have the stickers on it, like when you leave the stickers on the New Era hats.
Yeah, I remember I used to do that back in the day with the flat bills. You keep it on there.
That ain't me.
Yeah, I was a flat bill guy back then.
Not surprised. Semi-curve now or full curve? Or still
curve.
flat?
Full curve.
Full curve, yeah.
Yeah, I like to rock the dad hat, as people call it now.
Yeah.
I went through my phase, but I like the straightforward dad
I've never
hat.
been able to rock a flat bill. I look like a dope.
Oh, yeah, I could see that on you.
Thank you, Kyle.
You're welcome. But no, talking about like this style here, and if we're gonna like compare apples to apples and compare this to Money in the Bank in the WWE, I like the way Money in the Bank does it better. While everybody just starts at one single time.
Yeah.
I feel like this casino ladder match itself, it lacked a lot of ladder spots, which I enjoy out of a match that is based around ladders. I didn't think there was many attempts. Maybe there was too much going on at our watch party, like with the pizza and whatnot, but I don't recall many spots at top of ladders or attempts to go get the poker chip. I don't know if that's something that you were paying attention to, but that's something that I kind of noticed.
Well, I know Frankie Kazarian touched it twice.
That's true, yeah.
And that was a thing because we were giving Ian crap for picking him. But other than that, there were not a ton of runs, and I actually kind of like it.
Really?
I do, because I don't like watching the dude stumble up the ladder over 40 seconds, knowing that he's just waiting for a dude to pop up and throw him down. So I wasn't mad about it. I also can't remember too many scrums on the ladders.
No, that's what I'm wanting. Like maybe a pile driver off the ladder or something like that. Like just give me a little more pizzazz. But it was good for what it was. I thought, it was a great way to start off the show. It was a good choice. You have the mystery guy, Brian Cage, who neither of us know really anything about. So I'm kind of looking at it this way, Tuck. I guess we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it.
No.
The immediate shove to the top, it sounds like Cage and Moxley at Fyter Fest.
I don't think Cage wins that.
You have months to build him, but if you're putting up against jobbers weekly on Dynamite, I don't think that's strong enough. He is going to have to make a push. I think the TNT title is an inroads to the championship, but I don't know. We'll see. And we can talk about the TNT title too as we get there, but as of right now, Moxley still has to win.
They have done a very good job booking him as a champion. Like he just feels like a star amongst other guys.
And I think his appearance on Dynamite this week was outstanding because I felt like he was a little bit more genuine. He made a couple jokes.
Yeah,
and,
he's a funny guy.
Passing a mule under the table and things like that,
Yeah.
poking a little bit where like he's developing a little bit more of a genuine character instead of this just like grumpy guy or psychopath.
Like we saw in WWE.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that as well.
You know what? Thing that I remember from our predictions video is that you said MJF versus Jungle Boy was going to be the match of the night. And honestly, I didn't believe you at the time because I've never been big on MJF's wrestling. But this might have been the match of the night between these two.
Yeah, I think you could certainly make a claim. I'm happy that it went well. I think Jungle Boy still looks good. I like Jungle Boy.
They see something in him, obviously.
And I went in there with bated breath as well with your takes on MJF as a wrestler, but I do think from your end, I do think it kind of over-delivered.
No, I agree. And I think we saw more of the technical side of MJF.
Yeah.
I thought he was just average in all facets of the in-ring ability, but to see this technical side and him grapple with Jungle Boy, it was a nice, fresh pace, and there was a couple near falls for Jungle Boy, so you didn't... obviously, we knew deep in our head that MJF was going to win this, but they got me for a couple of seconds.
There were a few times, and that's what keeps bringing you back.
Right.
So
that match definitely delivered on that part of the card, which then we have the TNT Championship that we alluded to a little bit ago. Cody Rhodes is walking out the very first AEW TNT champion, which we both predicted. This is when the flood started to happen, mid-match.
Yeah, poor timing.
So we missed a good chunk of this one, but from what I do remember of it, because once again, this was also probably 5 beers and a couple shots for me, at least.
Yeah.
For me, I know. So
yeah.
It was good, but not as great as I expected.
Well, and I went back and watched everything I missed.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Which included a good chunk of the Stadium Stampede match.
I was going to ask you that later.
Without any good reason. And the Cody versus Lance Archer match. And it was good. And I think that's fair. It didn't over-deliver to me. Lance Archer did not come across as strongly. But again, he's facing Cody. So it does make sense.
I don't also think there was much chemistry there yet. I'm not saying, obviously they couldn't develop it, but at times it seemed a little clunky. And there was no botches or anything like that, but there's just at some points, and maybe they're trying to get too cute with the things ringside, with Jake, with Arn, with Tyson. Tyson was there too. So I think for the build and this being the first ever match, I wanted more.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not disappointed in it. We both agree Cody was probably the right choice.
Well, and in hindsight, it's not the television title; it's the TNT title.
Is that true? Is that how they're marking that?
It says TNT on the fucking. It's a billboard for this company.
Okay, yeah.
And I wish I would have come into it. We both got it right, but if this is basically a billboard for AEW's number one customer, Cody is the guy you got to have wearing it. And if it is a true working title, which I hope it is, you get to see Cody. You get to see Cody week after week in matches, which immediately, regardless of who he's facing, I think now there's motivation for that lower tier of the card on dark, people who are getting spots that want a little bit of traction. You could put them in a match with Cody, and it's going to be a good match, and that person might be able to build. So you can still use Cody as a champion to get people over while Cody still retains. And Lance could eventually become a TNT stable. It's just too early. You wouldn't put it on Brian Cage.
No.
He just showed up.
Yeah.
So I think it makes perfect sense.
More of a business booking decision.
Yeah, and it's smart.
Smart business, yeah. I mean, and this might sound a little jaded, but I think you kind of got to give that first TNT champion to a guy that came from WWE that people have seen before, that has that popularity going from like a Jericho maybe or Brody Lee, and then Cody Rhodes. I mean, how could you not? Maybe even Dustin could have worked, but that's not where we're at.
And you think about it, there's a lot of great names. Jericho doesn't fit because that title's a little lower than
he's
his
too big.
tier.
Yeah, first world champ.
You put it on someone like Sammy Guevara, but he's not the billboard guy. His face would look great on a billboard. He's a Spanish god.
Yeah.
But Cody makes sense.
Absolutely.
100%. Or Pharaoh. Give it to his dog.
That's,
I don't know.
That's a cute dog.
It is.
It's a big dog, too. I'm not used to those kind of big dogs. You got a couple big dogs.
They move.
And they jump on you.
They're not afraid to say hello.
A little bit.
Which is a risk with the white tee, but it seems like we came out.
We survived, but maybe next time I won't bring the Orange Cassidy shirt over to Tux. That's noted right there. But Hikaru Shida, she became a new champion as well. The women's champion defeating Nyla Rose. This is what actually gave me the official win in our predictions. They, I guess, decided to ride this hot streak that Shida's been having. Did you like this booking decision? Or
Yeah, I did, because she's good at wrestling.
It was a good match, too.
Yeah.
I think.
Nyla, the problem that I think you instantly get with Nyla is you associate her with Nia.
It's true.
Not the same.
Yeah.
Nyla's not the best women's wrestler I've ever seen. She's not a joke.
She's more athletic than Nia.
Yes, absolutely. And it was a good match. Putting it on Shida and allowing the women's title to be more prevalent on TV is going to do it a lot of good. And she seems like a little bit more of a workhorse that can get after it week after week. As Britt Baker's recovering, maybe I think that could be
what we're building towards.
It's got to be.
It's got to be that, or Chris Statlander's been picking up a lot of wins.
And I think that would be good if the all-out prediction for Britt Baker's return holds.
Yeah.
Chris Statlander and Shida at Fyter Fest could pop.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's definitely something they'd probably go with. And don't sleep on Nyla Rose, too. Other than that, I'm not going to go Penelope Ford.
I know.
Am I
Emi
forgetting her
Sakura.
name? I thought we were done bringing up Emi Sakura on this show. I really did, and you just keep bringing her up. So I guess that's where we're at. But yeah, I was very happy because I think Shida will do more things for that women's title. I didn't think Rio did much with that title as the first champion. Nyla probably did a little more than Rio, honestly. Yeah, but I think Shida right now is probably your biggest star with Britt Baker. Yep. Going to the DL, I guess you could say. But another matchup we're going to talk about here from Double or Nothing was the World Championship match. Jon Moxley retained his title against Mr. Brody Lee. I thought this match, Tuck, proved that Lee can hang in the main event. Mm-hmm. You know, this was a hard-hitting bout that went outside the ring multiple times, and I don't think this is going to hurt Brody Lee at all.
I think it helped. My question going into it was, are we going to get Brody Lee, an AEW superstar, or are we going to get mid-tier Luke Harper from WWE that showed flashes but never stuck? And I think we got Brody Lee here. Yeah. And as he continues to develop and they continue to work, I would not be upset to see the match again over time.
Yeah, I think you could keep building this story.
Again, I thought it was good. It was tough. It was what you come to expect out of a Moxley match.
Yeah.
Not a technical masterpiece.
Not as bad as the match against Jake Hager.
Right. And, it's kind of like rubbing gritty sandpaper together. It's just tough, and both guys are going to go after it. They're going to be sore the next day, but they put on a good show.
And now it's not like Brody Lee can't go anywhere. He's the leader of the Dark Order. The Dark Order really has been a big focus on TV from week to week, so they can reposition him in some form, and he'll probably have another great feud with someone. So Brody Lee, definitely, the stock is up with him in AEW, but Moxley still retained.
And hats off to AEW for making the Dark Order feel like something you should be concerned about on the perimeter, because at the beginning, when it was the dudes and just the masks guys and they just run out, and it felt very gimmicky, and I don't think it's stuck. And I think they made a transition, and I'm not afraid of the Dark. I don't think it's this big, fearful. The Undisputed Era shows up, we got problems.
Right.
Inner Circle shows up, something can happen.
Yeah.
Dark Order shows up, it has the potential to start getting to a place with Brody Lee at the top.
Yeah, so not the end of Brody Lee, not the end of the Dark Order for sure. I was actually surprised that the main event was the Stadium Stampede match, but I guess with the format that we got this match in, it was probably pre-recorded that this makes more sense to end it. Kind of like they did with The Undertaker, AJ Styles, and WWE that ended that show at WrestleMania Night 1. So, first off, you were a sleepy boy in the main event here the first time around, and now I know that you were able to rewatch this, correct?
Thank God, yeah. So, it was a long day, aided by a number of beverages.
And to be fair, it was about 10:45 where I started to see you doze. So that's not terrible.
We're 8 hours into our friendship day, and the day did not start at 2:30 for us. I mean, we were awake
with the best friends.
I think I cut the grass before then. I don't know. I was getting stuff done, setting up, trying to be a good host, and then the bathroom floods, trying to figure that out. A lot of chaos, a lot of mental stress. Hit the snooze button there a number of times. And
did you keep doing like power naps the rest of the night?
No, like through the match.
Oh, through the match.
I would pop up and watch 3 minutes and watch Matt Hardy get drowned, and then
did you go to bed after we all left?
Yeah.
Early
Basically,
night.
yeah. I managed. I got all the bells and whistles put away and all that, and then I fell asleep. Woke up right at it. So
that's good, because this match had it all. Really, you had Hangman on his horse, Sammy running away from that horse. You had a ring on the 50-yard line of the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium. Like you said, Matt Hardy being dunked in the pool and coming up with a new character every single time, and the finish from a high spot. I don't know if you saw like a clip, without the commentary and everything.
Mm-hmm.
The impact,
and that view was on Being the Elite, and you didn't get it. You didn't get the grasp of it from the angle that AEW shot. I think that if that's your biggest complaint, that they shot it from the wrong angle, but they shot it from the right angle from a cinematic perspective.
Sure.
When you see that grainy, you're like,
impact level,
yeah, yep, and it had everything. I do think it proves that AEW has the chops to compete on a production level with WWE. And I really liked the fact that they just dropped a ring in the middle of it. They didn't spice it up.
They rarely ran that ring.
It's called a Stadium Stampede. There's a ring here, wrestling maybe, but they did not make the ring the focus. But they also, I don't think they overdid unnecessary stadium elements. They hit meaningful spots. The stuff in the lobby or the bar
comedic
area.
Relief, with Kenny Omega grabbing some milk while Hangman had a shot of whiskey or something.
In a lot of those spots, they felt meaningful. They weren't too over the top. Doink the Clown wasn't popping up, and again, that actually kind of served its purpose in that Money in the Bank match. They understood what kind of match it was, and they think they got it right.
And I think, relating this to WWE, I think this was kind of their response to what WWE has been doing, the different things, the more cinematic approach to the COVID-19 times, as we're going to probably call this as for the rest of our lives. But I think it worked, and I think they honestly over-delivered on my expectations. I don't know about you.
Yeah, and I think, we're in a spot in our wrestling fandom where we don't need to see a dude fall 30 feet onto a table to feel satisfied.
True.
We know they dropped on a crash pad. We know they're all safe.
Wait, don't
up.
say that.
Shut up.
Now our listeners know the wrestling's fake.
You can suck it. Listeners that didn't know.
All zero
but
of you.
I thought it was good. And
I thought it was great.
Watching it entirely sober was a refreshing experience.
I need to watch it again. Is there any way I can get my hands on it?
I can check in and see if it's still active. I hope if it was a 24-hour buy, we're in trouble.
That's why I like buying it on my DirecTV, because I can literally keep that on my DVR. Like, when I get bored, I just watch All Out or Double or Nothing from last year.
It could be on my BR Live. It was up right away, and I didn't have a timer, so I'll check.
How about Fighter Fest here?
Talk me into it.
Okay, well,
Someone's going off the balcony. T-Walk's going off the balcony.
If T-Walk goes undefeated again in the predictions, I'll jump off the balcony.
No crash pad. He gone
Straight onto the concrete for sure.
That'll be cool.
But overall, Double or Nothing. I ran a poll on our Twitter at Pod on the Mark. Majority of people, and we got a fair amount of responses, were with the A category here. If we were to give it a grade for Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'd say it was a B. Nothing less, nothing more.
Yeah.
I was happy with it. I wasn't blown away. It wasn't their best pay-per-view they've ever done.
Right.
But I was entertained.
I had it at an 86, 87 as well. You know, that B range, high B, B plus-ish. And in times of quarantine, when spending money, $50, I thought it was worth it.
That was cake. And with everybody pitching into, everybody paid you, right? That was there. My night. You profit?
I did not profit.
Oh, darn it.
But I did okay. It's basically like I bought the pay-per-view for myself and got a shit ton of pizza for free.
I was going to say, didn't you have a lot of leftover pizza, too?
Not less than you'd think, actually.
The ladies probably were sneaking a few slices here and there.
Sneaky.
They always do that. They wait to the end when the guys fill up, and they're like, I'm going to take a couple slices.
And because when you fill up your last plate as a guy, you see a lot left on the table. You're putting the leftovers away. Not as much as you thought there, Jimmy, but it was good.
And I had a good time. And honestly, I think the booze really caught up to me quick, because midway through, about when that flood happened, I was a little drunk.
A little
not gonna
dozy.
lie. Yeah, a little bit.
But
But I stopped drinking at 10, so I was able to get home safely.
plenty of life was good. I would love to host again. Good. It is a great setup, especially if we get it to a spot where you keep the garage door open the whole night, things like that. So could be.
When
good.
is Fighter Fest? Do we know?
When? No, they just said
When?
this summer.
Yeah. Oh, they just said
summer.
this summer.
They announced All Out.
All Out September, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and is that Chicago again? If they do,
They
go
did
to,
not announce the
they're
day.
probably hesitant with the fans.
Yeah, we'll see.
Which, who knows?
They're not going to have trouble selling tickets if Illinois says it's open and we're good.
I think Illinois was the last state with like restrictions and whatnot, though.
Yeah, probably.
So that's not a good sign if they do plan to come to Chicago. But I guess we'll find out for sure. So let's run through Dynamite really quick, and then we can get to some WWE talk. I mentioned this when we were playing wiffle ball yesterday. I said, Tuck, I got a big spoiler, and I'm not going to say anything less. Did you have any clue that this is what I was talking about?
No, I did not. But after watching it, that is a big spoiler, and I'm also not surprised.
I don't think anybody was really surprised to see FTR, formerly known as the Revival. They're now just simply FTR. They made their debut in AEW. They came in on an old, what were they driving?
A pickup truck.
Yeah, old pickup
Loud
truck.
boy.
The camera looked a little different, too. Were they trying to make it like an old scene right there?
I don't know, yeah.
Look back, you might
Interesting.
notice it, too. But like you said, most of us kind of saw this coming. It looks like their first feud might be with the Bucks of Youth.
Yeah. Or is it Butcher and the Blade, get him in the first match,
Maybe, yeah.
put FTR over strong, and then because they went in, it was not. I think they do these surprises really well, and they do have to get creative with some of these reveals because you don't know everybody. Yeah. Butcher and the Blade, when we're at that show, pop up from out of the ring.
No idea who the hell that was.
And we're who? Just,
the crowd was just dead.
Yeah. And that's cool. They've been okay, but
they've been nothing.
But the same thing. A lot of people know Brian Cage. Not everybody does. So
we didn't.
How do you establish Brian Cage?
That's why we're on the wait and see approach. But everybody knows who FTR is.
Yeah,
Dax Hart. I don't even know what they're calling him right now.
Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood.
Okay, kind of some good names there. I would say.
Cool.
FTR, though, I think, what is it? Fuck the rest is really what it stands for. I think that's what their T-shirt says, at least.
I guess, yeah.
I loved the Revival in NXT. When they got to the main roster, they kind of were ruined. But we do know they're capable of creating some of the best tag matches. So you put them in a match right away with the Young Bucks, I'm not mad.
And if their true shtick for wanting to be released from WWE was they wanted a meaningful tag team division, I think they found the best tag team division in the game.
There's so many
on
good
lock.
teams.
And we talked about how that's a risk that they're
They could
taking.
get lost, yeah.
But it's up to AEW to manage that, and we win. Because if FTR is not winning, that means somebody else is going over them.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's good stuff.
I mean, you got the Young Bucks, you got FTR, you got the Lucha Brothers, you got Jurassic
Party.
Express,
Best
Blade and
friends.
Yeah, like
Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, the best tag team in the
Kip
world.
Sabian and
Jimmy
Jimmy
Havoc.
Havoc. I mean,
They're
coming into their own.
they're not bad, yeah.
I was gonna say I'm not a fan, but like
Yeah.
they're serviceable for sure. But yeah, so that's really the biggest takeaway from Dynamite. But other things that happened, Britt Baker, she came out in her wheelchair, and I love the role model on the back, spelled with the roll for wheelchair.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stop repeating myself. You praise Britt Baker for me. I'm tired of it.
She is a dentist,
Mm-hmm.
and I think she's good at promos.
I think she's good at everything.
She is, and for her story, listen to the Jericho podcast if you haven't listened to it. You and everybody else
I
listening.
say still, I haven't.
Her
really.
story is, dude. She was going to dentist school and becoming a wrestler while her parents didn't know. And no sleep, that kind of grind. And she'll be the first one to tell you she was a super average dentist student. You have to get the degree.
Yeah.
C's get the
Not
degree.
easy. Yeah.
And she would drive to Cleveland and then drive back to Pittsburgh to get to class after shows. Her Dynamite schedule right now is not easy.
I remember you brought that up.
Flies out Tuesday after work. Wednesday does the show. Thursday flies home in scrubs. She's gritty.
She still might do that too with the injury because, like, remember back in the day, Kurt Angle still cut promos when he was injured. They
Yeah.
could treat the same way with Britt.
Yeah.
Keep her relevant.
If the money's right,
I'd do it if
the
I was
money's
Britt.
right, take a flight.
Exactly. Yeah,
Well,
I
and
see
she
what you-
doesn't. I think she does dentistry in Florida.
Yeah, probably because she lives with Adam Cole, and Adam Cole lives in Florida because
Baby.
NXT is taped in Florida. So
Yeah.
it would definitely
Might be-
make sense.
That's probably the perfect situation, honestly. If it's a close drive,
yeah.
not bad.
No, yeah, they both are in a good spot because they both work right next to where most of these things are going to be filmed for a while. So
Yeah.
and hey, they got a relationship. Hey, Adam Cole was hanging out with Britt Baker and all those AEW people, and people were freaking out. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
They're drinking like, oh my God, he's with his girlfriend. Who gives a shit? He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
He's the NXT champion. Why would he go to
And they-
AEW?
And they're going to pay him whatever the hell he wants.
I would give Adam Cole everything.
No kidding.
Dude's a star.
Right.
Just like his girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
She, even with the broken tibia, which she, like you alluded to earlier, All Out is apparently where she wants to return.
Yeah.
I still think she's the face of the women's division.
And here's the thing. The two of them in different companies gives each of them freaking leverage.
Yeah.
That's how you get paid.
Yeah, they're
You
going
know
to be
what I
a
mean?
wealthy, successful
They're both
wrestling
good looking.
couple. Yeah.
Like, who's better looking?
Adam
Britt
Cole.
Baker, Adam Cole. Like, you can honestly have that decision, and we're two straight men.
Yeah,
It's
no,
it's
you would say Adam Cole,
disgusting.
right?
Yeah, it's not a question.
I do like the poster I have of Britt Baker. It's a cool poster.
I can't hang that in my classroom. That's one that's not up, but I have it.
You
I'll give
be
it
a
to
better
T-Walk.
role model,
I'll give
okay?
it to T-Walk. He's a big wrestling guy.
Yeah, D-Walk, Carmella, big
He's
fan.
got his Carmella card and his Brett Baker.
He said he's
poster.
buying me one tomorrow.
There we
So
go.
next week, stay tuned. We'll do a live pack opening and see
Nice.
what autograph that I pulled.
It's gonna be a riveting audio.
Oh yeah, I used to do that on Family Divided where we
really?
rip packs. It was probably not great, but we found out though that Jungle Boy won the Battle Royal and he will face Cody next week for the TNT Championship. Once again, Jungle Boy getting another opportunity to shine. He's definitely not going to beat Cody this early, but shenanigans maybe next week because we didn't see Lance Archer at all on Dynamite this week, which I found very weird, especially after losing to Cody on Saturday.
Yeah, a way to cool him off, and where do you put him?
Yeah,
At the
because
moment.
Brian Cage, I don't like how they are going right to the Brian Cage thing. If it was like Money in the Bank, why wouldn't you just wait that out and say, hey, Brian Cage has this opportunity, but he doesn't want to use it quite yet?
Yeah,
Like, why do we have to jump right into that? I didn't know this was kind of like a play-in thing, you know?
Yeah, interesting.
Because you could throw Lance Archer into the main event after losing to Cody. I don't care.
Right.
I think it's possible.
Give him a couple jobbers over a couple weeks, and here we go. The other thing that I found interesting was that the number one contender match at Double or Nothing was to fight the champion.
You talking about tag?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
at
true.
Fyter Fest.
Yeah.
When there's going to be a tag
Kip Sabian
title match.
and Havoc versus
Next
Omega.
week.
Yeah, versus Omega. I didn't even think about that until now. What the hell? AEW, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
The best friends are number one contenders, but we're going to give Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc a title opportunity.
Yeah, because at Fyter Fest, that's what we're looking for. Jimmy Havoc, Kip Sabian against the best friends. Another pre-show here, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I'm hoping they're just saving the best friend for Fyter Fest.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, spoiler alert, I think that's where Hangman's going to turn. I think it's eventually going to happen. It's got to happen. They're teasing it.
The Hangman.
The Hangman's got to turn, and then hopefully he can become a big single star because I've stated it before. I think he's my favorite superstar in AEW. So
yeah. Not happy that I pulled his auto out of my pro wrestling crate.
Yeah,
you weren't. I was.
No, I was not happy. No, I need me a Hangman autograph in my life for sure. But the main event segment on Dynamite, the Inner Circle pep rally would finish the show. I mean, this is what we've come to know as the typical Inner Circle segment, just them being themselves, cracking jokes, blah, blah, blah. And then Mike Tyson comes out.
Yeah, he did.
Him and Jericho be beefing, man.
Yeah, and this is getting mixed reviews. Some people like it. Some people don't. You have a thumb down. I have a thumb down with you.
Oh, really? I thought you were going to go like midway on me on that one.
Well, it's weird because, like you have in our notes, if the WWE does it, it gets mocked, right?
It gets ripped to shreds.
Yeah. And now
it's like the Tyson Fury thing, but with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, and the Tyson problem.
The Tyson
issue, yeah. And, here's the thing. We look at AEW with rose-colored glasses a lot that they can't do wrong.
We're not afraid to get on takes and criticize AEW,
and you're Mr. AEW.
That's true.
Honestly.
I have the moniker.
Yes.
Don't forget it.
Don't have the cover.
I'm going to have it for a while because Fyter Fest, we don't even know when it's. I'm going to ride that train, and I'm going to make you tweet back to me one of these days.
Yeah.
But no, go on with the Tyson.
The nostalgia thing. Mike Tyson has done nothing to prove to me that I think he can wrestle, and I think he could drop Jericho in an instant.
Is there anything that makes you want to see Tyson wrestle?
4 out of 10.
That's higher than I thought,
It's
actually.
not bad. It depends on when they do it. Don't make this a main event of Fyter Fest. Don't do it.
Don't even bring that out. Don't put that out there. Don't.
They will. It's not going to be. It won't be the main event. But
I don't want. I don't care.
And what else do you do with Jericho at this point?
Something better than Mike Tyson.
Say it.
I don't know.
It's weird because Jericho's in a funky spot.
He is.
Could he beat Lance Archer? Could he beat Brian Cage? Do you want that to happen? Where are you at? So give him a subplot with
I guess
Mr. Face Tat.
I'm really trying to think off the top of my head, and nothing's really clicking. Like, you're not going to put him in a feud with Dustin Rhodes or something like that.
So let somebody heat up and let Jericho because he
float for a little bit.
Yeah, that's okay.
Because he had his.
I get
time.
it. I'm not thrilled about it. And that's okay.
It's more of the mainstream trying to get attention. Yeah. It's what WWE does when they get Tyson Fury and guys like that to come in for WrestleMania.
I think they got the wrong Tyson, though. Mike Tyson would have got a bigger pop, right?
Yeah, probably, because he's got
way
history
more
with
mainstream.
Yeah, well, he's also got history with WWE with DX and all that. So, and also Jericho and him have, I guess, that history in WWE. But
and props to them for not being afraid to harken back to it and reference it. He didn't say WWE specifically, but it's like, dude, this has happened before in professional wrestling. We know. I've
noticed they've done that a couple times with some things with former guys from other companies. They reference it, like even a guy from TNA, like a Brian Cage. They won't say where he was from, but they'll reference, he has experience in other professional companies.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So they're not afraid to allude to that point that they have
and they're not
experience.
blind.
No,
they know
and they know their audience isn't.
Mm-hmm.
So might as well just bring up the history. But final thought on AEW for me personally is I know Ian addressed this recently on Twitter. Actually, he was talking about how he loves how Matt Hardy is virtually just changing gimmicks now. I personally called him out, and you kind of agreed with me a couple weeks ago that I was saying that the broken gimmick was quote unquote broken. But busting out new versions of Matt Hardy on a weekly basis, kind of like what we saw in the pool, and then what we saw on Dynamite this week on the very first version of Matt Hardy, I think this could work, and I think it's entertaining. I don't know how you feel about it.
I don't think it's sustainable long term.
Sure,
but
yeah.
I do. If we're playing an identity crisis type angle, which they have not played yet. Matt's at the end of his career, over the hill, whatever, and he's trying to figure out who he is. And I did feel a little different with this Matt Hardy. I felt like he was a little springier.
More athletic, yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
On accident, unintentional, whatever, could have been, on purpose, sure. I enjoyed that Matt Hardy. Because now, when I see Damascus, broken Matt Hardy,
the slow and methodical,
old,
Robotronic,
broken knee looking, walking, and
like me walking today.
Yeah, not great. But I like it as long as we don't overplay it, and as long as it's Matt Hardy only. He's the only one that has this ability, because then you start getting into that supernatural, quirky realm that's really difficult to play. And like Seth Rollins said on the After the Bell podcast,
I listened to that one.
Thought Undertaker's dead now. It wouldn't play here.
Yeah.
And the only reason it still plays is because it's the freaking Undertaker.
Yeah.
His only cross point is the Fiend, but there's only one. So if Matt Hardy is the only one with this ability or this set, cool. And I think he's the only one that you can do it aside from Jericho. Jericho can go back to Painmaker. He can go back to high ponytail
the
guy.
Y2J, yeah.
He's got a ton of them.
Yeah.
But
the list.
You flip Kenny Omega back to 2005 Kenny Omega or 2000. Nobody gets it.
No.
But people relate to this Matt Hardy. They understand who they're dealing with. And if we're getting nostalgia type viewers, more of that general pro wrestling audience we're hoping to get.
Yeah.
If we are AEW, it's a smart move to. I think they almost went too far back with this one, and I think Extreme Matt Hardy during that Attitude Era and post.
They did show it in the backstage segment with the Bucks,
right?
And Extreme Hardy,
and
he's probably coming.
Oh, he's got to.
Yeah, he'll be around. So, but no,
I just hope that one doesn't die. Like he tries to be that guy, falls through a table and dead.
Fair enough. And then that character's dead. Yeah. But no, I think you kind of said it though. This is something that you probably can't do long term, but for now, it's a way of Matt Hardy once again reinventing himself by going back to what worked in the past and bringing it out on occasions. So,
I think it makes the viewer in our current state. Coronavirus, quarantine, no live audience, no tour. We are more open to things like that because we're not expecting things we would with a live crowd.
Very
the right
true.
time to do it.
Very true.
For a short time. And I think we're good.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm okay with it. It's not feasible. You don't do that in real life.
No, for sure.
It's
only going to work in professional wrestling.
I would channel myself back to,
Gas House Gorillas Tuck.
Yeah, Hall of Fame Tuck, if I could. Without my shoulder flying off after a freaking
We're getting old, man. And so is Matt Hardy.
Growing up.
Everybody's getting old. We're
No
not
doubt.
getting younger, that's for sure. So that's
No
it
doubt.
from me, Mr. AEW. Anything else?
All Elite Wrestling. I
Couldn't be more happy. That's right. And we're on our way to Fyter Fest, whenever that may be. But for now, this is where we're going to pivot over to the WWE. They finally have wrestlers around the ring, a bunch of NXT talent there and Performance Center talent and whatnot. How about that? What do you think about that? It's about time, right?
Yeah, different. I appreciate it. I don't feel like it's an AEW knockoff. I do think this is WWE's genuine approach to try to do it.
It's not as fun as AEW is.
It stunk.
Yeah.
Not a great fan.
I wouldn't say it stunk, but
it
wasn't bad.
Okay. Put somebody you know.
I saw Caden Carter out there and Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, because you know them.
That's about it. And
right.
Jessamine Duke was out there.
Yeah, The Rock's daughter.
Yeah, she was ringside.
And they didn't props to them for not like, here's The Rock's daughter.
Yeah,
that was
true.
But
they could have done that.
More notable stars. They were, and here's the thing that did kind of tick me. They were adamant about saying social distance, and then at the end, they all just bull rushed this ring. I mean,
I also thought too that they were forcing the promos to be directed towards like the people in the audience now. Like we were always just talking to the camera when there was no crowd.
Yeah.
And when I was kind of getting used to that, but now just because there's a few people in there, you're having a direct conversation with those few people. Like I'm still here. I'm watching on TV. There's more of us on TV than there is there.
A lot more.
And it's different than having a 10,000 seat arena in attendance because you can learn how to balance that with the crowd, talking to them, talking to the superstar, and talking to the audience at home. But I think it felt more like they were talking to the talent that was there, which, I mean, it's still better than no fans, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I would like to allow the people in the arena, the audience members, to react as audience members. I also felt a lot of the reactions were very vanilla. Why are the heel, when a bad guy comes out, why is there no one saying, why isn't there a heel in the audience saying, like, this dude, go kick his ass?
I did notice Jessamine Duke was acting like a heel. She would cheer for the bad guys.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I noticed that. I was actually paying attention. So
compliment to Jessamine Duke, first of the On the Mark Wrestling podcast.
That is. Wait, is that the first time we mentioned or no? But back in the day when
I always got them mixed up. Is that the tall one?
Yes.
Hey!
Not Marina Shafir is Roddy's wife in the other one. So yeah. And WWE, another twist they had that like glass. It felt like a hockey game going on with the.
JR mentioned that during Dynamite.
Did he?
Yeah,
about WWE's glass?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He's not afraid. He's like, I'm a WWE Hall of Famer. I can say what I want.
They're not going to take the ring back.
No, I would never take that ring back from JR. He's bulletproof right now. So it's still good to see someone there as we're taking baby steps here during these times.
Yeah. Well, and they had, the Memorial Day tapings, they knew their numbers weren't going to be great. So here's your test week to see. And next week, it'll be different / better. Maybe.
And you'll see they did it with NXT, too.
Yeah.
They kept it going. So on Monday Night Raw, though, we saw a new champion. I when this match was announced, I kind of had a feeling that he was going to win, but Apollo Crews defeated Andrade. He is now the new United States champion. This is the first title in WWE for Apollo Crews. Me personally, I've never really been a big fan of Crews. I always thought his in-ring work was above average, his mic skills. I couldn't get invested in because I didn't really know that character. I still don't, but I'm okay with him winning here. I think we can maybe just see what happens,
Yeah. Going into the match, I thought Andrade was going to retain.
Did you?
I did because I like Andrade, and I think WWE does too.
Better, yeah.
But seeing Apollo Crews win, I thought it was a very genuine reaction.
It had a feel-good moment to it.
Yes. I don't care, really. Not
we
yet.
Don't care.
But I am interested to see how it goes. And maybe this is the spark he needs to develop that character a little bit more. He was very vanilla to me. I can't think of a trademark, a phrase, a slogan, meaningful. I know he can wrestle. He puts on good matches.
We all do, yeah.
He's all over the place.
Yeah.
That's it. And in this
This is where you can build that character, though, with the title.
Right. And without kind of dealing on the mic in front of 18,000 people or 12,000 people.
Yeah.
He's got to deal with people in the stands that are kind of directed to like him.
They will cheer. They will cheer him. So maybe that'll help when the crowd comes back, though.
Yeah. So it's a good time to do it. And then if you're dying to have Andrade with the title, give it back when people show up in 18 months.
I thought you were going to go a different route. I was like, you better not steal my take.
No.
I'm thinking with Andrade losing here, we have history with Drew McIntyre. I don't think Bobby Lashley is going to beat Drew McIntyre. Drew and Andrade feuded over the NXT Championship. While there's no crowd here, I think if you want to put Andrade and elevate him, put him in the WWE title picture. Think that would be outstanding.
I do too.
With Selena too.
Mm-hmm. And I'm interested to see Lashley and McIntyre. Honestly, I wish we'd have another 4 weeks to watch Lashley build and see how the MVP Lana.
The MVP helps. The MVP helps.
Yeah.
Then it's a lot better than having Lana.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot more to it. I mean, because MVP can still compete because he was in the main event
And
whatnot.
he's credible.
Yeah,
you know, he's been in the. But you can't take Lashley seriously if Lana's the one helping or guiding and things like that. And MVP's he's been truthful and been honest about it. You haven't had a title match. Yeah,
on the mic. I don't want to criticize him.
And almost to luck into it too. He did the Royal Rumble just for his son.
Yeah.
Now the dude's employed.
Yeah. Good for him, making the most out of a situation.
Not bad.
Yeah, not at all. So Andrade losing, he's obviously not probably going to be in that title scene for a while. I think maybe you can move Angel Garza into that.
Yeah.
You can still keep Zelina's boys involved with the U.S. title because there's the story there. And then we can move Andrade up a little bit on the card. So
yeah,
it's a good booking decision all around to give it to Apollo. Let's see what the man can do for sure. But another thing that has been getting criticized, because we know the WWE gets criticized more than any other company, is the segments between the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders. And people are either on the side of, this sucks, this is stupid, why are we doing this? Or there's people out there that are a fan of it. What side of that are you on?
What side do you think I'm on?
You hate it.
I do not.
Really? So you're with me.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of this.
I don't need 40 minutes of it. 5, it doesn't hurt.
Better than getting matches or attacks.
Right. And it's I think the Viking Raiders have the most to benefit from it because it actually it makes these Viking dudes feel more relatable. They suck at basketball, so do I.
They suck at golf, so do I.
Okay, but here's my thing with that.
There's turkey legs in the hole.
How do they get 28 strokes when 2 people play 18 holes of mini golf?
Ooh, that's good. I didn't think about that.
36 would be each of them hole in winning.
Yeah, that's true.
That's ass. Unless they played 9.
They could have played the front 9. Yeah, that's for sure. But no, I think this also works because both these teams are babyface. Like this isn't your classic heel, the bad guys versus the good guys. These are 2 likable teams that WWE knows has a backing from the crowd when there is a crowd there. Why just do in-ring segments and promos when you could shoot vignettes?
And the Street Profits are good at them too. So you're going to be entertained for a little bit. You obviously know that it's not a wrestling match.
People take it too seriously.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It's a little bit of a break. I understand. It's goofy. It's a little
Let's
different.
have fun.
I don't hate it. That's like the same thing with Miz and Morrison. That bit
Hey.
at the beginning of SmackDown got shit on. I liked it, and I was good with it. I love the 2 of them.
SmackDown's getting a little better. I want to
think
put that out
so.
there. We were criticizing it as the worst show, which it still probably is.
Yeah, but it's
watchable.
It's getting better. It's getting better. It's not ass.
We'll touch on that at the end.
Yeah.
But also on Raw, which overall I thought Raw was really, really strong this week. One of the better ones with the quarantine times. We had Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax versus Natalya. That was a number 1 contendership match. Honestly, personally, this was one of the best triple threats I've seen out of the women's division on the main roster in a long time.
I thought it was going to stink.
I did too.
Because you give Charlotte a lot of credit.
Charlotte's the workhorse
for making
there.
good matches.
Yeah.
But putting Natalya and Nia in a ring with Charlotte, I thought it was a little bit much to overcome.
Why was Shayna not in this match?
Yep.
She beat Natalya 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And I saw Shayna tweet. She goes, I guess that's just because I don't have a relative in the company because Nia's got The Rock, Natalya's got the Hart family, and Charlotte's got Rick. It's kind of shitty for Shayna because now what do you do with her? Maybe they're saving it, saving her for Asuka at SummerSlam. I don't know, but I just thought since she beat Natalya, maybe she should have been in it. But what were your overall thoughts on it? We had some cool spots. Nia went through the table and whatnot. It never seemed clunky or anything. No botches.
I thought it was pretty good. Nia didn't kill anybody.
That we know of.
I was entertained with it as well. I thought it was a good match. Good
Any
piece.
chance Nia Jax beats Asuka?
About 0%, right?
I'd say about 2.
Because I think Asuka's doing well with the title.
I do too.
They didn't put it on her on accident, and I don't think that title becomes a revolving door.
You can't do that right now.
I think Asuka's great. She's getting better on the mic. She picked her spots well. She yells a lot. But why did they have the green paint on her if they're turning a babyface again?
That's true. Yeah.
That's my only thing.
No, that's true. That's just nitpicking once again.
Yeah.
But I think when you take Becky away now, Asuka's probably number 2 on my power rankings of women talent.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte being number 1.
Yeah.
But Asuka's been phenomenal. Absolutely great. So good for her. But Nia Jax will be getting a title opportunity. But back to Charlotte that's what's taking a lot of Twitter headlines right now is that Charlotte's getting, I don't know if you're seeing it, a lot of hate. People are disappointed that we are getting Charlotte on Raw, on NXT, on SmackDown. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, we are seeing the modern-day Lita or Trish Stratus on every single show on WWE television, and it makes every match better. I'm not mad.
You want to see Natalya 3 times a week?
No.
Or do you want to see Natalya in that tier
Brooke.
every week? You want to see
Dana
Natalya
Brooke.
Monday, Dana Brooke Friday?
Carmella.
Carmella wouldn't be bad.
No, I mean, Carmella's not bad, but, still, Charlotte elevates everyone else. That's the measuring stick right there. That's the John Cena right there. Every person that she is going to have a match with or a segment with is going to benefit from it. Look at Rhea Ripley. She had arguably the best match with Charlotte on WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
It says a lot of Charlotte, and only because this is what people are comparing to the Roman Reigns push from a few years ago. We're just shoving Charlotte down your throats.
But I don't think it's corporate backed. It's not backed by the man. It's not, you know what I mean?
Or backed by Rick.
She's helping the WWE more than the WWE is helping her.
Absolutely.
At this point. And I think in turn the viewer is actually benefiting from it. I didn't expect. I thought Charlotte would have found a way to win, and I would have been surprised.
Oh God, the internet would have burned down.
Yeah, and I knew Nia. I had a feeling Nia was going to win. Yeah, but any match Charlotte is in, you can't be surprised if she wins.
I know,
So-
but you know how dumb the internet is. All of you that I'm probably going to sound clip this too. You're a fucking mark.
Whoa,
Take that.
yo.
No, I won't sound clip that one, but don't be mad that we're
The
getting
opinions
Charlotte.
of Kyle Gagliardi are the opinions of himself, and not an
No,
accurate
you
reflection
agree.
of the On the Mark
You
Wrestling
agree
podcast.
with me.
Jim
Charlotte
Tucker
is the
and his
GOAT.
Twitter handle at JimTuck89 do not agree with all of what Kyle Gagliardi says. He
Oh
will
my
plead
God,
the
I just
fifth.
looked behind me. Looks
Oh,
like it's
we
going
got some
to be.
shit coming. Yeah,
All right, let's move on to a little bit of SmackDown news here. You talked about The Miz and Morrison opening up SmackDown last week. Find out they're getting a title opportunity for the Universal Championship against Braun Strowman at Backlash. What?
well, yeah, and here's the reasoning behind it. Let me spell it out for you.
Let's get the
Braun
backstory.
beats Morrison,
Yep.
and then the next week he beats Miz. So because both of them lost, we'll give him a shot at the title.
He goes, why don't you face us both?
You know what? That's a good idea. I'll see you at Backlash.
Does he lose?
No.
Okay.
Even
Does
though
he,
you
though?
could book it to lose with 2 guys.
Does he though? I know.
Miz is a former WWE champion. Morrison's won championship.
And he's a dude.
He's been on Survivor.
He has. I got to get my audition done for that, by the way.
Oh, you're going to audition?
Why not?
I would never do Survivor. I'd be a Big Brother guy.
Dude, our ticket. That's our ticket. I win the millie.
Get the fame. For the OTM.
Mm-hmm. I'll get a 2-year lease. We'll be fine.
Jump on the bandwagon now before Tuck wins Survivor. I'm telling you, Jeff Probst. I'm looking at you.
Yes.
I'm talking to you. I guess
That was really weird. We were making eye contact. You have one eye going through the thing here, and people can't. It's terrible.
terrible
podcasting.
podcasting, but it's all right. Only 12 people are listening.
Cyborg, yeah.
So yeah, Braun Strowman is getting a title opportunity, or not a title opportunity. He's getting a title match against 2 people in a handicap, Miz and Morrison. And after that, I'm like, well, we must be holding out for the Fiend at SummerSlam, right? That's why we're doing this weird shit.
Yeah.
Because where was Bray? Wasn't on SmackDown, was he?
No, but his failed puppets were
Were they? What happened? I forgot.
Mandykin Rose, the Dookie diaper guy,
That's right.
the laundry lass.
They always find a way to get something with the Fiend involved, which is
Yes.
good.
Well, and Miz and Morrison are good at staying on point with those segments and hitting in the chip-ins and the tie-ins and the.
They're
I
like
them.
the jocks in high school that make fun of everything.
Yeah.
That's what they are, and they do well.
Mhm.
So tomorrow we know that we are getting Daniel Bryan versus Jeff Hardy and Elias versus AJ Styles in the semifinals of the Intercontinental Championship Tournament. In those matchups, who do you got winning and why?
It's got to be AJ and Drew. It has to be. And that
AJ and who?
Daniel Bryan. Drew.
What do you think? Gulak?
Gulak, yeah.
He did. Apparently, he resigned.
Hey, that's good.
Good for him, yeah.
A minute late, bro. He's supposed to be the title winner. We talked about it.
That's true. But, yeah, so you think Daniel Bryan and...
Yeah, Daniel Bryan and AJ. Elias has no shot.
0. That's a lock of the century.
And Jeff Hardy doesn't need the title.
You know what's going to happen there, Doc. I'm telling you right now, Sheamus is going to get involved. Yeah. Sheamus is going to cost Jeff Hardy an opportunity. Or if you really want to get creative, you have Gulak return and cost Daniel Bryan.
Hey.
It's a way to reintroduce him back after, 2 weeks?
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is
Gulak.
Oh. My name is Gulak.
So Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles, who wins it?
Daniel Bryan.
AJ Styles.
I know. I wanted to say that.
He just moved over to SmackDown. I think they're just going to make him the guy again.
Four superstars to be named later. That's something.
Great trade. Why not?
Okay. Who is making the trades? There's no general manager.
The anonymous general manager.
Jesus.
I don't know. Who cares, really? We got AJ Styles on SmackDown now, which I don't know if did you listen to After the Bell this week?
No.
AJ was on, and he talked about he felt like even though it's like in the same venue, that having a new atmosphere that doesn't relate back to when Gallows and Anderson were there, because his run on Raw was all with Gallows and Anderson, yeah. So it kind of was like leaving that behind him. And he addressed that on the show. They talked about the release of Gallows and Anderson.
I'm listening to that on the way home.
Yeah, it's only a 38-minute episode, so you definitely can listen to it. But yeah, so I think him moving over to SmackDown, getting that fresh start, strap on him. It's AJ Styles. Yeah. It's a safe bet. But any other thoughts from the Blue brand itself? Still no Roman Reigns.
I think they're on their way up. And I think they've got options now in regards to a few storylines. So we'll see how it goes. That's about all I got.
Yeah, that's about all I got, too, from the main roster. I know you didn't watch NXT, correct?
Correct.
So I'm going to go about this without any spoilers. You do know who wins the main event, but I won't spoil any of the details. So
thank you.
The main event itself was in what they're calling the fight pit, as I put my air quotes over it. And I thought it was the perfect venue for Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher. And you're going to see this, but when I watched that main event, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I need more of the fight pit. I don't like the name, by the way.
Yeah, it's weird.
The fight pit's a little weird, but yeah, we'll work on that. But it's 2020 now. We have seen hundreds of steel cage matches.
Yeah.
And most of the steel cage matches are all the same.
Yep.
You throw the guy into the steel cage, you try to climb out, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you slam the door on him. There's no door here. There's no way you're getting out of this. There's no ropes either. It's just surrounded by a cage, and then you have like a catwalk around the outside where you would escape at the top of a normal steel cage.
Yeah.
So I think start using this pit more, get rid of the steel cage, or only use it sparingly.
Yeah.
And this is your way of being unique, creating new matchups, great matchups that make sense, like Thatcher and Riddle.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a blood feud going on there. And they have history in cages. Matt Riddle was a former MMA fighter.
Yeah.
End feuds in the fight pit. Put Shayna Baszler in the fight pit.
No.
She'll
destroy whoever it is.
There's so much you could do, and you're going to see this, but
there's a new element. You put Shayna Baszler in the fight pit again. Who?
She doesn't lose.
You have to, right? Because that's
right.
That's going to the Predators.
You put
house.
Brock Lesnar in the fight pit,
and he doesn't lose.
Like that.
Who? Matt Riddle.
Brock Lesnar? Riddle. Yeah. So that's another thing we can actually talk about since you haven't seen much. Matt Riddle loses this match, but we saw some reports that he might be headed to the main roster. You ready for it?
Bro, I hope they don't freaking ruin him.
That's what we say about everybody.
Fingers crossed. Have they got it right with the call-up? What call-up have they gotten right?
Not Shayna. Shayna's kind of flopped.
No.
Street Profits is working.
Yeah.
They bring the swag like nobody can.
They do, and they want the smoke.
Yeah, they do.
And, okay.
That's about it.
All right.
They had to send Finn Balor back.
Yeah, he gone. Now, here's the thing, too. Is there a foolproof, guaranteed stuff? Is Adam Cole, when he goes to the main roster, is he foolproof? Like,
Yes.
There's no way they can screw that up.
He can't flop.
Are you sure?
He can. How could Adam Cole flop on the main roster?
Put him against the Lucha House Party 7 weeks in a row?
Jesus.
That's Lucha
There's no
Libre.
way that flops. Adam Cole, then again, I would have said the same thing about Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, but the Street Profits treaded water for a minute, too. They
did.
They had to figure out how.
What was it, the Profit Report or something like that?
That ass, yeah. And they spoke for 90 seconds, like 8 weeks in a row. So they can get it right. I really like Matt Riddle. I don't like his merch. I
wish he had some good merch because I really do like Matt Riddle too.
I'm not going to be a 30-year-old dude walking around with a shirt that says bro on it. Yeah. And that's cool. I still like him.
I don't know if he's top of the card main roster guy. Maybe with time they could work that in, but throw him into an IC title feud with like an AJ Styles when he gets called
that'd be great.
That would be good stuff because I can't recall a bad Matt Riddle match.
Matt Riddle Andrade would be good.
Yeah, that would be fun.
There's a lot of different pieces. Do you put them on Raw or SmackDown?
Honestly, I think SmackDown's getting a lot of people lately. Yeah. I think they've been, and maybe it's because, you know what, I just popped in my head, the reason they probably brought AJ over is because Roman's not there. Well, they need a big guy.
You need a dude.
And AJ Styles is a big name, so maybe that's it. But I don't think SmackDown needs him. I'd say Raw, and then you can have him maybe feud with the Seth Rollins. Aleister Black's hanging around there. Angel Garza, Andrade, Bobby Lashley. I mean, there's Lashley. Come on.
Makes me sad.
R.I.P. Leo Rush for sure. I know we don't do the Wednesday night scoreboard anymore either because we're way past that. Like, who cares? But you're gonna notice, probably agree with me too. NXT won this week.
I think so, based on not watching NXT.
Just
at
what
all.
you saw from AEW.
Yeah. Well, AEW was not can't miss. That was good.
I think the only thing you couldn't miss from AEW is the Revival, or FTR as they're being called. That's like the thing you have to watch.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm like, well, if you missed the main event and Tyson kind of got into it with Jericho, and
I do think AEW previews and is very predictable with all their. They let you know what's coming out. I really like that.
I think they have to because they're more new.
Yeah.
You kind of got to let the crowd know and give them a reason to stick around.
Yeah.
Or maybe a reason to tune in to NXT. But any final thoughts here, Tucky, on this week in professional wrestling?
No, Double Nothing was great. Looking forward to NXT House Party and Backlash coming up in the next couple weeks.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have to do a NXT In Your House predictions. Yeah.
In Your House preview. Got it.
Yeah, it won't be the whole show because it's going to be a small card.
Not a title show either, right?
We'll just do a standard podcast next week. Might do a card unboxing. We might talk NXT. All right, no, we will talk NXT, and we'll sprinkle in some AEW because this was an AEW heavy.
Yeah, we said skip 15 to 20 minutes, and we meant 45.
They tried skipping 15 to 20 minutes or whatever it was, and we were still talking about Double or Nothing. So sorry if you're looking for WWE talk, not this week. But hey, once again, let us know on Twitter @PodOnTheMark. You know, what content are you enjoying? What would you maybe like to see? Or just text Tuck and I if you're a personal friend, because we know some of you out there are listening.
Yeah, no doubt. Until next week, make sure you visit OTSportsNetwork.com. Twitter @_OTSN. You can follow myself @JimTuck89. And don't forget to follow Kyle @TooSweetKyle.
Too sweet.
Until next time, thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling.
Okay.
Thanks for listening to the On the Mark podcast.
Brock Lesnar going for an F5 to Cena for the championship. Lesnar with the cover.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information and updates, make sure to follow us on Twitter @PodOnTheMark.